That transferring from manual to auto mode means that is called pumpless transfer. Note down this new word. Transferring from manual to auto mode is called pumpless transfer. You simply cannot transfer from manual mode to auto mode. You cannot simply transfer because you initially kept at 50%, then changed it to 55. You got reaction curve. First part is over. Mathematical modeling is done. Then you find the tuning parameters from the mathematical model. Second part is over. Now I have to control. That is the third part, closed loop control. For that, again we made 50% because it takes some time to again settle at 50%. That's why before doing all this calculation, we made that 50% there. Then we will allow to settle at 50%. Now it is settled at 50%. I want to maintain 50% forever. For another 6 months, I want to maintain at 50%. Whether I am there or not, it must be maintained at 50%. You understand this point? Control means that is control. If we put this in closed loop and go away, went home, tomorrow if you come, if you see, it will be at 50% only. That is control. Many changes. If any change in fluctuation in the power supply, the flow rate will change because it is coming from this flow rate is going to sump. From this sump, one motor is pumping from here to here. I'll draw the line. From here to here, from sump, something is some pump is pumping. If any voltage change, what will happen to the pump? Flow rate will change. For that, the controller will take action. It will open more. If flow rate decreases, it will open more. Controller will take necessary action. That is called disturbance. Any disturbance comes because of voltage changes, flow rate will change. But controller takes action. Immediately it will open more. For low voltage, it will give the same flow rate. So that level again it comes to 50. Have you understand this point? That is called control. Even if you come after 1 week, it will be remain at 50%. That is called closed loop control. Now it is in manual mode. It will not control. We only adjusted to 50%. Now we have to put this in closed loop, auto mode. Before changing auto mode, we have to note down some 3 points. First thing is we have to keep the set point correct value. For that, what is the process value here? Where it is settled? 50%. Because controller output is 50%, level is settled at 50%. That's why make set point equal to 50%. Set point equal to 50%. What is the process variable? Process variable also 50%. Now what is the error? 0. First condition is satisfied. Process variable must be at steady state, not 50 transient. Suppose it is going from 55 to 49, let us assume. It goes to 55 to 49 or 60 to 49. In the middle, it will come to 50. No, that time is not steady state. Steady state means it remains at 50. So process variable is remains at 50. It is steady state value is 50. Set point also 50. That condition is first condition, satisfied. Process is at steady state. Set point also equal to process variable. First condition is satisfied. Second condition also satisfied. Process is at steady state. Third condition, controller parameters are entered. How to enter controller parameters? For that, if you press one time escape, don't do auto manual transfer. Press escape when the display is set point. When the display is set point. Here, there should not be O. The display O is not there, means it displays the set point. It must be 50. Why? Process variable is 50. Both are equal. Both are equal. That time you press escape means it will enter inside parameters. It will ask. It will ask for KC. It will ask for KI, TI. Those things madam will explain in the lab. Without controller, I cannot explain those points. You have to enter KC value. You cannot enter KC directly. You have to enter PB there. You have to convert KC into PB. The relation between PB and KC is PB equal to 100 by KC. KC, how much you got? 5. 100 by 5 equal to how much? 20. 20. So 100. So you 100 divided by 5 KC, you calculated 5. In our example, 5. So 100 divided by 5 equal to 20. You have to PB, you have to enter 20. You cannot enter in terms of KC. Some controller available in the market, some controller will work on KC, some will work on PB. This controller works on PB. That's why you have to enter in terms of PB. PB, relation between PB and KC is proportional band equal to 100 by KC or KC equal to 100 by PB. You understand that relation? So we have to enter 20. So we entered 20. We have to enter TI. We have to enter TI. TI equal to 10 seconds. That also entered. That also entered. After that, if we again press escape, it will come out. Escape or enter. After entering these values, we have to press one time enter to accept that value. You have to press enter. After entering 20, you have to press one time enter. It will accept. After that, if you move to the next variable by pressing escape or enter, escape. Escape, if you enter, press, it will display TI. Enter TI, 10 seconds. You can use increase decrease key to vary the value. 10 and press enter, 10 will be accepted. Then you press escape, it will come out. So you third condition is satisfied. You entered correct tuning parameters. So 3 condition has to be satisfied before transferring from manual mode to auto mode. First condition is process must be at steady state. Steady state means it remains in one value. Steady state, yes, process is at steady state. Set point equal to PV, yes, set point equal to PV. You adjusted the set point. When you can adjust the set point, when it displays set point, you can adjust increase, decrease, set point will be adjusted. If you press enter, set point will be accepted. So you made set point equal to PV, process is at steady state. You entered correct tuning parameters, whatever you calculated. Now process is ready to transfer from manual mode to auto mode. If you press once AM, A/M, auto manual. If you press, the process will be transferred to auto mode. Process will be transferred to auto mode. Now, if any error comes, controller will take action. What is the present process variable? 50. What is the set point? 50. Therefore, no error. That's why it will give 0 plus 50. Already bias is 50. It remains 50. It remains 50. Another 3 hours, let us assume that it is at 50. After 3 hours, let us assume that some voltage is decreasing. Let us assume. What will happen to the flow rate? Will decrease. That's why valve will open more to adjust the flow rate. So that again it will come to 50% level. Do you understand that? That type of response is called regulatory response. Note down this value. If for any disturbance, the process controller is controlled, controller controls the process, then it is called regulatory response. Instead of 50, you are changing to 60 now. Now you are changing the set point to, after changing to closed loop, you are changing the set point. Now you understand this? Now it is in closed loop. Now it is in closed loop. You are changing the set point to 60. Changing the set point to 55. Let us assume. What is the error now? 5%. The controller will take necessary action to bring the process to 55. After some 20-30 minutes, the level will automatically comes to 55 and remains in 55. This type of response is called servo response. So you have to do 2 experiments. One is called servo response. Another is called a regulatory response. Regulatory response is for disturbance. Servo response is for set point change. Yes, you have to remember. Set point change. So you change from 50 to 55. The process will settle automatically at 55. You will get the response like this. For PI controller, you will get the response like this. Initially, it is 50%. You change the set point to 55%. You will get the response like this. It remains, this is this new set point. This is old PV, old PV, new PV, new PV. New PV comes and settled. It will be oscillate like this. The controller cannot directly bring to 55. It will oscillate around and settle at 50. This is called servo response. Servo response. Another regulatory response. We cannot wait till some disturbance in the electricity comes, because we have only 3 hours to do the experiment. That's why we ought to deliberately give some disturbance. How we can give? In that path, one more valve will be there. In that path, one more valve will be there. Hand valve will be there. Like tap in your home. You can adjust that. Deliberately, you close, slightly close. What will happen? Flow rate will decrease. Here, this valve you are closing, this valve will open more. So adjusted. Resistance is adjusted. So flow rate will come again increased. So again, it will come to 50. So you are deliberately closing that valve slightly, not much. Slightly, if you close the level starts decreasing, then it increases and comes to 50. 50. Suppose you are doing the experiment here, means what will happen? What will happen? It, because of that valve closed, it comes like this, and again it oscillates and settles. This is called regulatory response. This is second part of third part. Second part of third part. Regulatory response. This is servo response. That's all. Experiment is over. We'll quickly see in 5 minutes. I'll explain all these things. Review again. Then we'll finish this class. 3:30. You are having some work. This is the level process. To maintain level. To maintain level. Level is the process variable. Level means height in water height. That is measured by DPT. That is measured by DPT, differential pressure transmitter. One end of the DPT is connected to bottom of the tank. Other end is open to atmosphere. That's why it gives 420 milliamps. It is given to the controller. Controller reads that 420 milliamps in terms of percentage, 0 to 100%. It gives 0 to 100% controller output in terms of 420 milliamps. That I2P will read that 420 milliamps are 0 to 100%. It gives 3 to 15 psi. That is given to the valve. Valve opening can be adjusted. Valve opening can be adjusted. Depends upon the controller output. This experiment consists of 3 parts. One is modeling, tuning, closed loop control. Closed loop control means we have to transfer from manual mode to auto mode. That process is called bumpless transfer. First, to put the controller in manual mode, give controller output 50%, allow the level to settle. Let us assume that it is settled at 50%. You cannot expect, if you give 50%, you can expect a 50% settlement. You cannot expect. You cannot design such process in practical. Theoretically, you can say for 50% open, 50% level, these are all theoretically you can speak. There, if you give 30%, it may settle at 50%. I understand this. That's why they will tell something, somewhere it is settled. So you cannot expect 50, 50, that and all. For conveniently speaking, I am telling all these things, 50, 50 and all. Okay. So you gave 50%, it is settled at 50%, let us assume. Now you have to get the reaction curve. For that, once the process is settled at 50%, you change the controller output from 50 to 55%. Once it is, once you change it from 50 to 55, you start noting with respect to periodically you have to note every 3 seconds, every 3 seconds, 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds you note down. Every 5 seconds you note down the values. So in the reaction curve, you have to enter values every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds in the graph sheet. Every 5 seconds. Or you can draw in the lab software and you can trace as you wish. Graph sheet, or you can trace in Excel, you can put and draw the graph and you can trace in a graph sheet. Trace sheet. In trace sheet you can trace. So you got the reaction curve. From the reaction curve, you know how to obtain TD, that time. You know how to obtain TP. Time taken from this point. Time taken from this point. Time taken from this point to this point. Here it is, dead time is over. Here it reaches 63.2%. That's why this time is TP. KP, you know how to find it. Change in level divided by change in controller output. You got KP, TP, TD. So put in the formula and find the tuning parameters. Kc equal to TP divided by KP. How you are writing the transfer function? G of S equal to, already I told you, KP divided by TP S plus 1. Am I correct or not? E power minus TDS. Whatever in the numerator, KPTD, no, the transfer function. Put everything in the denominator. Whatever in the denominator, you put in the numerator. Formula you can easily remember. So you can remember TP is in the denominator in the transfer function. You put in the numerator. The formula, Kc equal to what? Kc equal to 0.9 times TP divided by Kp multiplied by TD. So you can easily remember the formula. What is Ti? Ti equal to 3.33 times TD, that time. I understand this. So you got the tuning parameter. Second part is over. and did all these things, you got the tuning parameters. Now we have to transfer from manual mode to auto mode. For that, three things you have to note down. Whether the process is at steady state. By this time, it will be at steady state because you took 20 minutes to calculate. That's why process is at steady state. Now, make set point equal to PV. Whatever the PV, you make set point. Now, tuning parameter is entered. How to enter tuning parameters? When the display is SP, set point, that time if you press escape, it will ask for KC and TI. You can enter those values. If we display manipulated variable, that is O, is there. That time if you press escape, what will happen? It will transfer from manual mode to auto mode, or yes, set point display will be changed from set point and manipulated variable. So you have to press auto manual that time. Three conditions satisfied. Process at steady state, set point equal to PV. You entered the tuning parameters correct values. Now you transfer auto manual. The process will be in auto mode. It means any disturbance comes, controller will take care. Now you have to get two responses. One is servo response. Another one is regulatory response. To get servo response, what we have to do? We have to change the set point. We change the set point from 50 to 55. The controller will bring the process to 55. Automatically, in 20 minutes, it will come to 55. That response is called a servo response. Once you change from 50 to 55, note down the values. Whatever the display in the controller, you note down the process variable. So you will get a response like this. This is called a servo response. This is the servo response. This is the servo response. Suppose you are doing the regular response after servo response. Here you give. Here, once it is settled, you give some disturbance. How I told disturbance is given by adjusting this hand wall. If you adjust the hand wall, disturb. That's why again it will take 20 minutes to settle at that 55%. That response will be looking like this. Initially it is 55. You disturbed it, that's why it come down because you closed the valve slightly. It will controller will adjust and finally settle at again 55%. This response is called regulatory response.